Archmage team with marketing. I've been with them for pretty much the whole time. Actually, the long story on it, I am partially responsible for Archmage existing in the sense of I started exploring botting in Splinterlands from a article I found on Peak D, and Almighty Melon, who's one of the devs of Archmage, is one of the co-founders of the guild that I'm in, the Gladiators. And so I was sharing with him what I was up to and what we were doing. And at the same time, we started working on that together, just sharing what we were learning and whatnot. But from there, Melon definitely took it and ran with it in terms of actually making meaningful changes. I was mainly just, what's the word for it?
You're the Aggie of Archmage, right?
What's that?
You're the Aggie of Archmage.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, so I basically just talk about it mostly at this point, but I was like, so after Melon started working on it with Imposter, and they made a number of basically they rewrote everything that like Melon and I had been using from scratch. And then Proto came in afterward and rewrote it all again to make it even more effective and more data efficient. And then I was like one of the first test users, basically, while we were still in stealth mode. And then over time, like I built the website, and I write a lot of our articles and do a lot of chat support and that's that sort of stuff. So that's who I am on that front. I also have a separate project that's my own called Splinterlinks.com, and that project is a community curated collection of third-party tools and creators and links in the Splinterlands community. So like, Splinterforge is on there, Archmage is on there, Splex is on there, and people could vote on their favorite links and find their next favorite Splinterlands tool.
Then you can drop the link in the chat so people can do that, whatever you said just now. They can.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and drop that in there. There we go. Splinterlinks.com. Okay. So that's where you can check out that project. It's completely free. Right now it's basically a Web 2.0 site. Unfortunately, I'd love for it to be Web 3.0. But you can create an account and sign in with the Discord. That's what I feel like most people likely do. Sign up with Discord. Most people are already using that, so you don't have to like go and create a new account or whatnot. You can just sign up with Discord to be able to submit links or vote on links and that kind of thing. But otherwise, if you're just looking for a cool tool, then you could use it without even logging in. So, but yeah, there you go.
Have you been a radio commentator?
I have not, but I do my normal real life sort of work that I do. I do a lot of marketing and webinars and stuff like that. So I'm fairly comfortable and used to being on camera and on a microphone. So,
yeah, no, it's not about only comfortable. It's like when I hear you talk, it's like I'm listening to a radio station. Like it's like, and I'm saying it in the best way possible, man. It's like
right.
it sounds awesome, and maybe I also appreciate it. I'm having like funny accent. I can appreciate the clarity of everything that you say, with the speed that you say. So, yeah, how long have you been in Splinterlands in general before those projects, or like when did you join?
Yeah, so I joined Splinterlands. Actually, let me check. I forget if it was 2020 or if it was 2021. I always forget. I think it was 2021.
Time flies.
But let me confirm.
Time flies.
Yeah. Oh, just a second. I put in the wrong password. I'm trying to check my account because you can see when you signed up in Splinterlands.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. I forget. But I've been in. I was playing for at least a month or two right before things really popped and mooned, right? So at that time, I had only, I'd invested, I don't know, like a couple $100 into cards. And most of that was actually, I put $160 into a chain golem, a max level chain golem at the time. And then lo and behold, like a month or two later, Splinterlands skyrockets, and that chain golem became worth about $2,000. And I ended up selling that to get a new water heater because our water heater broke the morning my wife went into labor with our twins. So
I was hoping you traded for another card, but yeah, heater works fine. Dude.
I wish. Yeah, I would have liked to have taken that and rolled it just into more of a deck. But you know, at the time, it was like I had real life needs, so it was cool that me playing this crypto game became the source of being able to take care of some real needs in my life, which was nice.
I'm familiar with
March 2021. I just looked it up. So yeah, March 2021 is when I got started.
Oh, that's like a year and a half now. And that's
yeah.
Cool. And yeah, it's not really with Splinterlands, but with one other blockchain game that I was playing at some point. Yeah, I was able to pay off my credit cards. One transaction, but
right.
Yeah, unfortunately, after that, like the bad thing about credit cards is they keep on getting filled up with stuff and have to take care of them all the time.
Right.
One time thing won't do it, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun when you invest some time and like you're early or whatever, and then you get the fruits of it. It's like enjoyable experience.
Absolutely.
Are you excited?
Absolutely.
Are you excited about the game?
About Splinterlands itself?
Yeah.
I love what the project is doing. I think, you know, for me, like I found Splinterlands. How did I find Splinterlands? So I started using the Brave browser, and then there was an ad for either Townstar or maybe it was just Gala Games in general. I forget which, but I went to Gala Games. And Splinterlands was listed as like either a sponsor or a partner. I forget exactly what it was, but I checked it out through there and I was like, oh man, this is cool. It's a trading card game, but you know, built in the crypto world. And so like my general history with crypto is I've never really invested a ton, right? Like I've never put a lot of money into anything, so I haven't been able to participate in massive booms or anything like that for the most part. Splinterlands is really kind of my biggest my biggest amount that I've been able to make off of something, mainly because I put more into it. But before this, like I bought my first bit of Bitcoin in, I think it was 2014. But I bought $5 of Bitcoin in 2014, right? And so like I rolled that $5 turned into $40. I think I split it out to $10 worth of Bitcoin, $10 worth of Litecoin, $10 worth of, I don't remember what else I got. I got two other things. Actually, I think I might have gotten $10 of Ethereum at the time, and then $10 of something else. But anyway, and then like those went up as well. But like my thinking around this is something that I'm used to in my normal life, which is I do like marketing consulting and I help people run ads and marketing campaigns and stuff like that. And in the media buying world, when you're running ad campaigns, a thing that you learn quickly is that you first pay to learn before you pay to earn, right? So when you're running an ad campaign, you spend money at the beginning to learn what ads are going to work, right? You field a bunch of different ads. Most of them won't work, but you'll find one or two that work really well that you then move all of your budget to, and then the wins from those more than cover the losses on the ones that didn't work, right? And so when I'm looking at the crypto space in general, I wanted to make sure that I was investing enough in it to learn the nature of the thing, right? To say, even with just $5, I know what it's like to buy some Bitcoin. I know what I like when people are talking about Bitcoin pricing, I have this anchor of what I could put it toward, where I could say, I got $5 worth of Bitcoin and it's now worth X amount. Wow, that's interesting, right? Like it gave me a place to connect to it rather than just kind of mentally, trying to do that math, right? And similarly, like that's why I got into why I started exploring crypto gaming, because I love the idea of, NFTs. What's up, Proto? I love the idea of NFTs and being able to leverage those to have ownership of assets in a game. And so when I started seeing games that were doing this, I was like, oh, I want to try this. But like, everything at the time that I was seeing, and it's kind of a mix at this point mentally, but everything at the time, it's like Alien Worlds. It's like, okay, this is a game that you basically just click. Like that's not really all that fun, right? Townstar was interesting, but the threshold in order to actually be able to earn was way above, like, to be able to earn anything even was way above, what I felt comfortable investing in some random game, right? But then I found Splinterlands, and Splinterlands was like, hey, $10 and you could start earning in this game, right? And it wasn't much at all at the time, but you could start earning something. And then, it was like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And like growing up, I played a bit of Pokemon cards is what I played. So I'm familiar with the idea of a trading card game and how that works. So I was like, yeah, cool. This is a crypto trading card game, and you get in and there's like actually a game, right? Whereas most of these other things are like you buy NFTs, they do nothing. They look cool, but they do nothing. And very few of the projects that were out at the time had anything that you could even play. So long story short on that, I'm excited that Splinterlands is early to having launched a project, having it be playable, having gone through both bear and bull cycles and figuring out figuring out where tokenomics need to be and all of that. And I think there's still more to do and more to learn. But overall, yeah, I'm very excited about this project and about the game and about all of that. So yeah, there you go.
Are you invested in land? Like, are you expecting anxiously
I
land
am.
as well?
I am, yeah. So I feel so sheepish anytime I talk about land, because I got in when land was still $20 a plot, and that for me, it wasn't like, oh, that's too expensive, but Melon had actually at the time, he had said, yeah, I'm gonna wait to get land until like after it's released and after it's opened, and then I'll buy up the cheap common stuff, right? Like I'll buy cheap common stuff because when you actually open up your land, it's going to be revealed and you don't know what kind it's going to get. But if it worked at the time, like packs work now, where it's like you open up a pack and most of the cards aren't worth much, but occasionally there's one that like makes the value of the pack, right? We were thinking the same idea was going to apply to land, and it still probably will to a degree, but we didn't have a good estimate of how long it was actually going to take to get land out. And so I didn't buy when I could have bought it $20 a plot, and instead I ended up using some funds from token sales from Archmage to be able to buy. I think I got a plot at like 200 or 220 or something like that is what I actually ended up buying it for. But I still feel good about that. I think long term, I still think that's going to be solid. But yeah, so I only got one plot, but I do have some land to be able to participate in that part of the market.
I'll give you an idea. Go talk with the Rare Raptor and tell him he's loaded, man. He has like, you just said, like 3 tracks or whatever. Just tell him like, see, I did those nice card designs for you. I mean, maybe you can share a plot or two, just you haven't
fair enough.
You haven't
fair enough. If they offer it up, if they offer it up, I'd happily take it.
Yeah.
But they've been good. I mostly did that for the fun of it. I got some Forgium. I've got my art in a crypto game at this point, so that's cool. That's cool to me as well. So, but yeah, it's been fun to just contribute to that project period.
But you haven't heard it from me, okay? It's like just a random idea that came to your head. So you mentioned that you were watching the World Cup in '94. That means like you are into football. I mean, let's not call it soccer, at least here. I mean, I know when we talk about football, people know what we're talking about because Splinterlands chose to go that way. So let's talk about football.
Right.
So, are you watching the World Cup now?
I mean, that's an interesting question, because like the reason why I was at the World Cup, so I was young. I forget how I'd have to do the math. Yeah, I would have been young. I wouldn't have even been 10 yet when I went to the World Cup then. So the reason why I got to go is that at the time, my grandma worked for the M&M Mars company. So M&M's, Skittles,
Yeah.
those candies and whatnot. And
Taste the
she ended
rainbow.
up getting free tickets to
Nice.
the World Cup as a result of that, because they were a sponsor of the World Cup. And so we got to go and be in person, and my family did play. It's so weird for me to call it football, because I'm from the U.S. and football is just a
I
different
know.
thing here mentally. But yeah, so we did play football growing up. My brothers played. My oldest brother played through high school. My next brother played. I don't remember if he played in high school or not, but he actually refed his way through college. So he was a football ref to pay the bills when he was going to college. So yeah, we like, that was the sport that our family played. I didn't keep at it very long, but there was always some level of a family attraction to it for sure. So for a period of our life, that was definitely an exciting thing. But honestly, at this point in my life, I am just I couldn't care much less about sports in general. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, I'm super excited about the Genesis League stuff that Splinterlands coming out with. Not because it matters to me, but because I'm really excited about the idea of being able to onboard more people into the crypto world because of that interest, right? Like my brother actually contributed for us to invest in a license just based on what I've told him, and all of that. So we have a license together, but he has basically zero interest in playing a game like Splinterlands, but he would have a lot of interest in playing a game like Galaxy League Goals or whatever, right?
And a lot
So
of other people.
yeah, and there's a lot of people that are like that. So that has me excited, even if personally I'm not that interested in a sports-based game. I understand the way of the world, and having a sports-based offering in the crypto space that does a good job, I think, is a very cool thing for sure.
So for you, just like an like investment prospect, like something that you believe would be valuable down the line, but not really interesting. How about tower defense?
Tower defense, I'm more interested in for sure. It's more the kind of game that I'd be interested in. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the way that I am with gaming, uh, like I actually wrote an article about this a while back when Archmage was launching. But the way that I am with gaming, I tend to go from game to game to game, right? I don't tend to like stay in a game and latch onto it long. I play something for a while, I enjoy it for a while, and then I move on to something else. And that's kind of been my norm. It wasn't until being able to to automate most of what we do in Splinterlands that I've actually been able to keep at a game as long as I have with Splinterlands, right? Where it's like being able to automate the gameplay aspect has made it so that most of my attention is on other elements, like acquiring cards, keeping up with what's going on with the market, keeping up with what's going on with the game, and all of that. So I kind of see tower defense potentially being the same way, where if we are going to be able to automate some portion of it, then I'll probably be able to stay interested in it for a long time. If we aren't, then I will probably have the same thing. Like, I've got some packs. I will play it. I will enjoy it. I think it's a fun kind of game, but pretty much for me, every game I tend to lose interest in for some reason over time. But yeah. So anyway, I hope we can automate it, because then that'll keep me interested for longer.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I mean, spending I don't know how many years in Warcraft and
Right.
Splinterlands, and I'm scared to know that Bloom is coming around the corner. They're better, and that would be a
Right.
scary thing too. But that's why I'm like, okay, I'm hoping Archmage is around, so at least I can automate everything. Splinterlands for a while, and I can alternate. But
Right.
yeah, a lot of exciting times. I would say, but rumor has it I wasn't able to be at the Digicon, but rumor has it you
Right.
have some news around Archmage, something coming up? A
Yeah.
change coming up?
So when we first launched the billing fees, we said right from the beginning, excuse me, we said right from the beginning that our plan was always that we were launching with the numbers about as high as we could see them needing to be, with an intention of looking at the real world numbers once we had data under us, of actually seeing what people what we receive, what it's worth, all of that, and then from there being able to adjust down rather than having to adjust up after launching, right? And so that's always been the plan. We launched the billing or the billing fees at this point under Splinterlands reward delegation system. Now, I mean, we're now in the third season, so we have 2 complete seasons under our belt. But really, the second season was the first full season, if that makes sense, because the first season you have that onboarding of people turning on the fees and not everybody doing that immediately. So we didn't have full data on that first season. Anyway, so now we have full data on at least one season, which at least makes us confident enough to say, okay, here's what the numbers look like, real world numbers that we can make these decisions based off of. And so what we announced at DigiCon, what we had hoped to announce at DigiCon was the final numbers and the go forward plan. Unfortunately, right before DigiCon, Splinterlands announced that they're laying off 45% of their staff, and that things are looking bleak. And so we saw that and the general state of the market and said, okay, we should probably at least watch what the market's going to do for a little bit before we roll out these numbers, in case things tank to a point that we would then have to walk back a change in the fees, if that makes sense. So that's where we are currently, is we're watching the market. The plan is to announce what those fees will be within a week, with the plan of the new fees going into effect as of the 1st of December. So that's the current plan. It is still the plan that we are likely going to be reducing fees, that nothing's changed about that. What we're doing right now is we're looking to make sure that the reduction that we have planned is still sustainable for the project, if that makes sense. So, but anyway, that's where things are. I mean, the good news is, last I saw today, SBS has come back up a little bit from where it had been. So we'll see if that continues. But yeah, that's the current announcement, is that it is still planned. The thing that threw a wrench in our original plans was the announcement for Splinterlands, but we're still moving quick. We're still going to get that information out quickly, and that's still, nothing's changed about that. We just wanted to make sure to look at what the market's doing,
Well,
if that makes sense.
December 1st is like a week away, so I mean, I'm sure people
Exactly.
And anyway, it probably wouldn't be even mid-season. So anyways, there is still, the season started. It's halfway through, so
Right.
I don't think anybody was expecting to happen mid-season.
Right.
I'm just curious, does it has anything because, see, you said that they announced the news that it's so bleak and they're laying off people. I don't think the announcement, I don't think it was a bleak one. I think it was actually it hyped me up, because I'm thinking now they're focusing the game where they should be, instead of branching out endless. But I'm wondering, does it has anything to do the whole repricing at the moment? I know it's a plan from the beginning, because I spoke a lot with Imposter on Interface, but does it have anything to do with the spot?
That's a good question, and no, it has nothing to do with X. Yeah, it's funny. I had another user ask, because apparently they're fully launching or something on the first 2, and I learned that through a user who said, is the timing of this because of XBot? And I'm like, no, actually, I had no idea that was even happening. So yeah, no, honestly, the way that we feel in terms of a project overall, right? I love that there's competition in the market. I think that's better for the users. I think, honestly, that's better for us as a project, in the sense of giving us motivation to continue to improve and all that. But me personally, as somebody who has been involved with a number of leaders of software projects and seen a lot of different pricing models. I personally am very skeptical that the model of a one-time token pays for lifetime access to a service that is sustainable. I've never seen that work in my experience. And projects either do one of two things. They either ultimately have to fold and go away, or two, they introduce fees or something regardless anyway. And so we'll see what happens. But I think competition in the market is good. And from everything I've seen, I'll be really clear about this. I don't see anything nefarious from anything that I've seen from the Xbot project, right? I don't think anything is like intentionally lying or anything like that. But I think it's possible the numbers haven't been thought through quite far enough to really be sustainable. But maybe they have. Maybe they have. I don't know. But in terms of what we are doing as a project, right from the beginning, we considered a number of different models. We considered the idea of a flat fee. We considered the idea of a percentage based. I don't think honestly, we never really considered a one-time fee gets you lifetime access, because I think all of us inherently knew that isn't sustainable. But out of those models, the reason why we went with a percentage-based model is because it is the fairest option in order to incentivize us to get people the best results, right? A flat fee model, when the market goes down, your price stays the same, which means that you're inherently getting shafted. Further, if you get crappy rewards, the price stays the same, you're getting shafted. The only time that a flat fee model works is when you are on the winning end, and the RNG of things means that that's not usually the case. And so by doing a percentage-based model, we feel that we've set up the project to most incentivize us to make sure that we are in alignment with our users. We win when we help you win. We lose when we don't help you win, right? So we have the most incentive to win as much as possible, to help our users as much as possible, because literally, if we make a change that helps you win 10 times more battles, we directly see that in terms of what the project makes. And so, go ahead.
When you make that change?
When will we make what change? The billing system?
The one that lets us win 10% more battles.
I mean, we're currently working on it. Right? We have users testing version 3 right now of the hand finder, getting great results. Really, where we are right now in terms of the roadmap. So V3 hand finder is essentially a collection of ideas that Proto has spearheaded in development. Many of the ideas from that sort of grab bag collection of ways to improve the hand finder have actually already been rolled out to users, right? So our experimental algorithm is already rolled out to all users. That's a portion of the collection of V3 tools. Harder opponents is something that's available to alpha and beta users. That's part of what will be in V3. What else do we got? I feel like we just rolled out V2.2. V2.2 is some updates that, again, they are part of what made sense in V3. Really, what we're doing is we are deploying immediately, as quickly as we can, the features that we can deploy at scale, right? So the problem that we run into with V3 is that the code needs to be optimized, the data needs to be optimized in a way that we can actually deploy it at scale. So that's the work that we're doing. We're testing the concepts and then doing the work to make it scalable to actually implement for all our users, and then that will be rolled out to everybody. So currently, I forget, Proto's in the chat here. We have I forget how many users. I feel like it's around 10 users that are testing with us. And then as we keep going, we might be able to expand how many users we could test with. But yeah, so I mean, in terms of when we're rolling out those kinds of changes, literally our incentive is to roll them out as quickly as possible. So as much as we can, that's what we do, right? We roll them out as soon as we are able to, based on what we're seeing in our tests and the scalability and all of that, because that's what we're incentivized to do, right? We want to get you wins as quickly as possible, so that's what we do.
So how come
okay.
I'm not testing? I feel ignored.
you got. So first off, you got to reach out. You got to ask. We got a wait list, I think, right now. So feel free, drop a message in our Discord and say, hey, I want to get on the V3 wait list. I think currently the people that we're testing with, current requirements, you have to have an alpha, and you have to have a champion level deck. Is who we're currently considering for testing. But as long as you meet those qualifications, you could potentially get into the mix.
Yeah, I don't meet them anyway.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm fine with it. I have a better and the gold diamond kind of deck, so maybe next rollout somebody will ask me to test. But no, I'm happy. I'm happy with Archmage. I'm just sorry that I interrupted you in the middle of your sentence, but I'm just wondering, the love of Archmage for Lux Vega, is it because of Imposter? Is it his fault? Like, is he the one to blame? Because I see my Archmage board is playing like 90%, 95% of the battles are with Lux Vega, and I think probably Imposter has something to do with that.
That's a good question. I'm actually so this goes into the realm of like specifics for how the hand finder works and how it makes decisions. And I got to be completely honest, I only vaguely understand some of those specifics, right? Like I get told enough to understand how to convey some concepts that we're able to say to people, but there's a lot of the hand finder specifics that for one thing, I just don't need to understand. But further, there's a lot of the magic of how Archmage works that we don't talk about publicly for sake of.
Yeah, I do understand. I was just curious. Like, I was like, I was excited about Lux Vega when they announced and everything, and when I saw it on Sprint, but I never imagined that it would be such a powerful card that that their automated
Right.
What how you were presenting yourself as automated?
Yeah, the automated scholar. Okay, automated scholar service.
An automated scholar service will choose it so often in battles, and win actually. Right. I have, like, I don't mind, like, it's winning, but I'm just curious because I think the same lineups. Well, because I go every now and then and watch only the games that I win. I don't want to watch the ones that I lose, but the ones that I win, I do watch and try to learn from the bot. But in many of them, I'm feeling like Lux Vega would have been. I mean, another summoner would be just as efficient, if not more, with the lineup that was there than Lux Vega. And yet, does it have anything to do with the promo bonus that you're getting from it? Like, does it weigh in? Like, is it something that weighs in? Like,
so yeah, I don't know the exact specifics of how it works. What I could tell you, and I know that I could say this because it's been said publicly. I'm fairly sure. So Proto may give me a slap on the wrist if I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm pretty sure that this is okay. So the reason why Lux is seeing any level of play right now, in terms of Archmage using it, is actually you could thank Waka coming into existence for that, because it's some changes that were made to the hand finder in order to find the times and find the places where a new summoner or maybe a less commonly owned summoner where it should be deployed. And so there was some changes to the code that made that possible, and that was done initially for Waka to get Waka some play, again, in the times where it makes sense to. But as a result of that, that's why we're seeing Lux, like, why it was so quickly being played, is because we had already made those updates. Proto had already made those updates for Waka, and it just comparatively, Lux is obviously a much more playable card, a much more versatile card than Waka was. So it's seeing a lot of play, and it's getting a lot of wins. So yeah.
So Imposter has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I don't think Imposter specifically has anything to do with Lux getting more play. I think that would be on Proto.
Well, I mean, I don't think Proto was a Splinterfest.
Right. But even still, I mean, Proto. I mean, you got to understand, Proto is like a true, like, developer, software engineer. I forget what the highest caliber word is, but like Proto is like, I am going to dial this thing in to just be awesome, regardless of if it directly benefits me. Like for him, it's like the challenge of fine tuning the thing to be the best it can be. And so regardless of whether or not, Proto specifically has the Lux Vega, you can stand you could stand to believe that that it'll see play for sure.
Did you get the Lux Vega?
I forget what I was doing. I was busy. I think I had work appointments that day, so I wasn't able to do anything to get one. Unfortunately, I would have liked to, but no, I might have to bite the bullet and get one aftermarket at drastically higher prices. So we'll see if I end up doing that or not.
I don't know how drastically higher they will be, having in mind that some point, people that were buying it in the sale were paying less than the people that got it from Splinterfest. So
right.
I mean, and right after the sale was done, I think it went down to 600 or something like yeah. I mean, I'm sure there will be possibilities, especially now with this kind of market. So maybe you haven't missed
Absolutely.
out. I was just wondering if you have seen. How about Rooney?
Rooney, I do have a Rooney, so I was able to trade an alpha for a Rooney. I actually wrote an article about that process. So yeah, Rooney, like comparatively, I am very excited for Lux Vega as a summoner, first neutral summoner. That's really cool, but I really wanted the Rooney more so because it was also like a first for the game in terms of first project on Ethereum, first PFP project for Splinterlands, first unique artwork. There are a number of first aspects about the Rooney that had me excited about it, and so yeah, I was able to get one. I didn't mint one. I got one after the fact by trading an alpha for it, but yeah, so I do have a Rooney. I am excited about that one, and I mean I'm sure I'll get a Lux Vega too, but I do have it.
The power of having commodities, right?
That's right.
People want. But is it a rare one? Like, is it special or is it just like? I mean, it's got token should be special.
It's got at least one rare one rare feature. I think I put it this way. If it was like a pack, right? Like you open a Chaos Legion pack, I think it's the equivalent of having 2 rares in the pack, if that makes sense. Where it's like it's a little bit better than the most common thing that you could get.
0.5, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
2 items.
So it's
0.5, yeah.
But yeah, it's better than the most common thing you could get, but it's nothing super rare, super unique. I did like the way like the aesthetics of it. It's got kind of like a greenish blue sort of color scheme that seems to go throughout it. So it's got like the scholar robes, I think it's called. It's got a greenish head thing, and it's got the rare item that it has is the that like snake staff thing. I forget what it's called. I forget the name.
Do you see my baby Auric over there?
I do. I like it.
Yeah, I'm just changing the stuff and it's complete. It's nothing really that rare.
Right.
But you were talking about the aesthetic. I just like the aesthetics, and it's funny because at Splinterfest I was dressed like Auric. Auric is like probably my most favorite summoner in game since the beginning. And it looks like maybe just a scarf here, but yeah, to me it looks exactly like Auric, and I like the aesthetics. It's not rare, but yeah, I definitely like it.
Have you been to Digicon at all? Do you have the Alric skin in inverse for your character at the Digicons?
No, unfortunately, Digicons are happening during the day, and I always every day work during the day, so. I mean,
well, the Digicon is open 24/7 when it's open, and at this point, Digicon is technically done.
Yeah.
In terms of
for now,
there aren't currently more plans for Digicon because of the layoffs. But I'll actually take a second to plug Waffles project. So Waffles Kitty, who ran Digicon, is going to be running her own conference as well. That's designed to continue the momentum of what Digicon is. It's called Waffles and Friends, RFRENS, as you might expect. So that will be continuing. So it's still potentially you have the opportunity to get that Alaric skin. But yeah, if you want to, let me know next time you want to hop into Inverse and dress up like Alaric and get the mage staff and the Alaric skin. I got those codes. I can get those for you.
Oh, see, okay, I'll hold you to that because yeah, I like Alaric. I'm just curious, is there going to be waffles in her conference? Waffles with
I hope
bacon?
so.
Because
I hope so.
Agi was promising us for Splinterfest, but
Yeah,
only a few
legal.
people, only a few people got lucky to get some pancakes, and it's still not the same. So, but yeah, I mean,
Waffles and pancakes, very different for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
nothing in common. But yeah, and for me, like in my country, I am from Bulgaria originally, so my
Right.
country, pancakes we call to the crepes.
Oh yeah.
and
Yep.
and they're proper like the skinny that like you eat something with them. Well, I feel here like
Right.
it's like when you order a pancake, it's just bread. I mean, you're eating a little bit flavored bread, but I mean, what do I know? I'm just a foreigner here, so here's what I think.
Yeah,
What?
I've had both. I've had crepes and pancakes. They're definitely definitely similar but slightly different dishes. But yeah, I honestly, when it comes to breakfast food, I'm much more of a savory kind of person anyway. Give me bacon and eggs and biscuits and gravy and that kind of stuff. I'll take that over pancakes or waffles any day. But
Yeah,
yeah.
do you have any out of state ancestry? Because I do feel like, I mean, it will only make sense with the soccer thing. So is it like a Mexican ancestry
No,
or
my
European?
shoot. I mean, in terms of family history, uh, man, I am
Purebred Yankee.
about as American as possible. In terms of my family lineage, my 11 greats back grandfather came over on the Mayflower. So my family's had some history since the Mayflower. I think I had somebody in my lineage come over with Lafayette in the Revolutionary War. What else? I've got some Cherokee in my bloodline.
Yeah, I
I've
was
got
just
some
curious because like first of all, in the US, people come from all over the world and
right,
it's so mixed and
right,
everything. But what I'm saying is usually people coming from countries that are enjoying football, they
right.
pass it over to their children. And so I was thinking like that might explain how all of your brothers, like all of you, were into football at some point, and I mean the real football. But
Yeah, it's probably a geography thing. I grew up in Southern California, and football, soccer is definitely way more popular in Southern California than it is in other parts of the U.S.
oh, good
Uh,
because I'm in Southern California now, so that's a good thing.
nice, nice. What part? What general area? You don't have
Uh,
to dox yourself,
oh
but
well, no, I mean I don't mind. Like I'm La Habra, Orange County. It's like
nice. Yeah, my grandma lives in La Habra Heights actually.
yeah, that's a little bit
But
higher. A little bit, yeah.
yeah,
I
and
just moved here from Vegas like 7 months, 6, 7 months ago, but I'm enjoying it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Chino, so I grew up in the Inland Empire, but yeah.
Do you know? I think, but now you're somewhere. You moved.
Yeah, so
A woman
I live
stole
in
you.
I live in an RV traveling the country full time.
Oh,
Currently
that's awesome.
currently we're parked getting help with our twins that were born about a year ago. But yeah, so I live all over the place at this point.
That's an awesome way of living, man. Yeah, I kudos for that. I really admire it. Like, I, I the idea sounds very nice, and I have some more questions that I want to ask you, but I know that you said
Yeah.
that you probably need to leave earlier, so I'm just making sure
Right.
to check if you have time or if you already need to be.
Yeah. I should be wrapping up pretty quick here, but if you want to,
Yeah, I was
there
just
were a
curious.
couple.
Yeah, I was just
There were a
curious.
couple of things in the chat too. If I don't know if we want to answer or talk about any of those.
Well, I mean, they were talking about the price of Las Vegas and it's like flags in general. So,
Nice.
and Kraken Jr. is making his presence because he's after me. So, guys, if you enjoyed, carry on. The next hour will be with Kraken Jr., where you can listen to him in both English and Spanish. But I was curious,
Nice.
is Archmage planning to release separate token for the tower defense, or are they will be trying to implement it to the token holders that already have the token?
So that's a good question. So first off, right now, I mean, tower defense doesn't have any level of us to even be able to see what would be bottable or not. So whether or not it's even a project that we could pursue is still very much up in the air,
We're
right?
talking
So we need the game to be
hypothetical.
we need the game to be released in order to even see what that might look like. In terms of would we release a new token versus would we deploy it to current token holders? I mean, again, that would be a decision we would likely make when it comes time. What I can tell you is that in general, one of the ways that we seek to reward our alpha and beta holders, right? So for those limited edition tokens, is that when we release new projects, when we release new features, we seek to provide value to those token holders, especially first. And we've documented this pretty consistently. Sometimes that might mean getting access to features for free that other people will have to pay to get access to. Sometimes that means that they get a discounted rate. But yeah, in terms of to be for sure, if we were launching something like that and you wanted the best chance of like having some sort of connection to it, holding an alpha beta token is going to be your best shot at having that standard token. I mean, we'd have to see if it's an easy way for us to to connect it up, and it would make sense to do. But again, all of this is way up in the air and just theoretical at this point, because until the game's released, we don't know if we're able to bot it.
My question was hypothetical. I mean, in general, like,
Yeah.
because at some point I'm sure that there will be some other services expanding with Archmage and everything. Like,
Right.
in that point of view, it's like if how you planning to be dropping it to the community or just branching it out and people with token just have priority, which probably is the way that you're going from what I understood. If that's,
I mean,
that's
maybe. So again, like all of it's up in the air. We don't really have an answer. What I would say is, holding an alpha or a beta token is your best shot. Thank you. Is your best shot at being able to to potentially be able to be involved in something like that if we roll something out that way.
Yeah, you want to answer that punch from dishonesty?
Oh, let's see. I can't wait for you to get some real competition. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, again, like I said earlier on in this, I welcome competition. I think it's good for users. I think it's long-term good for the project. I mean, the reality is, for the Archmage team, I don't believe any of us need Archmage to be successful in order for us to be okay in life, right? Like we build this project, all of us, as some level of a passion project, just having the interest in it. And so, hey, if competition comes along and makes it so that it doesn't make sense for us to be the project that exists, that is what it is. But we will continue to seek to set up a model that we think is sustainable, that puts us in the in the battles with our users rather than basically not having an incentive to improve, which is so far how most of the rest of them seem to be positioned. And yeah, we'll continue to do that. So we'll see. May the best project win. And with that being said, like me personally, may there be enough for everybody, right? So not everything has to be a zero-sum game. So, but yeah, that's how I would say that.
I was going to say, even now there are like several, and that doesn't mean that anybody is going out of existence, because people have different preferences, people have different decks.
Right.
For different people, different things work. And funny thing is, like what you said, my friend that introduced me, like, that told me about the new bot and the Bulldog video and whatever it was. I was just like, yeah, I was listening to him and I was like, okay, if he's going to sell tokens, but he's saying there is no fee, once he's done selling the tokens, what's his incentive to keep on working on this project? Like,
Right.
because it's giving some insane results from what I heard. I don't know, like, but okay. What after that? What happens? Like, if there is new Splinterlands update, like, who will make him go and update the bot if he's like, oh, I got my money. I mean, just like, and he said, well, probably he will keep on selling tokens. And I'm like, okay, but if you have all, like, he need to have new customers, and we were thinking, when there was, the only thing that came to mind was probably the rental market, maybe the fee from the rental market, but I don't know how sustainable that is. Just what did you say for running a project, even though I heard he's by himself, the guy.
Right.
But yeah, I'm thinking there is space for everybody under the earth, so there is enough for well, there is not enough for everybody, but there is a place for everybody. So push and shove.
Yeah, well, I mean, and again, I you know, a lot of this is for the fun of the project and for the fun of seeing how this stuff goes. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I mean, I dropped a comment in their Discord a while back and said, like, hey, I have never seen somebody successfully do a one-time fee for a lifetime project and have that actually be a lifetime thing. But shoot, I am excited to see the first of anything. So if that happens, then you know, it'll be cool to see, and it'll be exciting.
Definitely, yeah, as long as it works. And we'll finally, if you still have a minute or two, just your thoughts on reward cards becoming soulbound.
Yeah, so I think there needs to be a little bit of a massaging of that idea. I on the whole, I like the idea. I like the idea of saying, let's incentivize people to, you know, concentrate in one account, to earn and build in that one account, to have a benefit for playing consistently, for staying, keeping the attention on the game. I think that's good. You know, Archmage as a project, we have continually set ourselves up to say that we make sense even if we don't sell any more tokens in terms of us being able to operate as a project, right? So we don't have to get any more customers in order to continue to make sense. And this as a type of change, to me, is a big thing that's likely going to destroy most bot farms, which we never have served, right? We don't. Yeah, and so I think that if anything is very much in the vein of where the Splinterlands team has said that they were going to go, and I think this will do a number to potentially help with that. What I would like to see personally, so that you still get that benefit of being able to have the you know, play to earn aspect. I'd love it if they made it so that instead of it being soulbound for life, if it was like soulbound for a long period, like a year,
or until
right?
March.
So yeah, so that at some point it's able to enter the market, you're able to capitalize on it if you want to, but it removes most of that, you know, because like the way that the bot farms work is that they're grinding it out, they're earning, selling, earning, selling, earning, selling, and it's an immediate cycle that makes it sustainable.
And take it
if you remove if you remove that immediate cycle and make it, you know, that somebody has to float a system like that for a year in order to be able to pull that kind, you know, pull most of the profit out. I think that does a number to, you know, sort of have your cake and eat it too. You remove most of the incentive for bot farms to make sense, and yet you still give players the ability to, you know, to the long term, capitalize on those assets. You know, if they, you know, if they want to sell the card or whatnot after a period of time, but make it long enough that, you know, a real human player would be like, yeah, I'll hold on to this thing for a year, right? Like that doesn't bother me. But you know, somebody that's just trying to extract profit would have more trouble with it.
I'm happy about this change, and yeah, actually there is only 2 minutes left for the show, so I guess you stick with me the whole show. But any final thoughts, shields, links, whatever you want to share with the community before you go?
Yeah, so I mean, thanks everybody for coming out and joining us. Happy to thanks for having me on for
My
sure.
pleasure.
If you want to check out the projects that we're up to, archmage.app is the website for the Archmage project. You can find out, you see the white paper there for what we're up to with our Splinterlands automation services there. So archmage.app, splinterlinks.com if you want to find other great projects in the Splinterlands space. That's a community curated set of stuff. That one's my own project. And then feel free to follow me on Hive, follow me on Twitter, IVIAXPOW3R, just like my name on here that you can see. Feel free to follow me, and
MaxPower.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
so there you go. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, thanks for having me on. Thanks for chatting.
No,
It's been
my
good.
pleasure, Max. And maybe whenever, yeah, if at any point you feel like talking about Splinterlands and you're bored or whatever, Wednesday and Sunday I'm on. We can always set it up and we can have a blast. I'm sure.
Awesome.
Thanks for being
Awesome. Sounds
around,
good.
man. Thanks for
You
being
got it.
around. Let me say my final goodbyes with the crowd here. So, guys, thank you for sticking around and being part of our conversations with both Ray Raptor and MaxPower. And usually, yeah, every Wednesday and Sunday that I'm having my shows, I'm trying to bring at least one guest, sometimes two, and I'll keep on trying because I think that makes up for interesting conversations. And so far, I think I brought awesome guys, and I enjoyed it a lot. And with that being said, I'm finishing in like 15 seconds, but don't forget to stay for Kraken Jr., who is having his stream in both English and Spanish, and I'm sure it will be a fun stream to watch. So have a good day and see you the next one.